This is the Akeeyo EYES, an advanced AI driving assistant dashcam with one, or should I say two, unique features: dual front-facing lenses. This 3-lens dashcam with ADAS and BSD AI systems has both a wide-angle and telephoto lens facing the road ahead of you, whilst there's a rear-view camera to cover the back of the vehicle, all filming in 2K resolution. The EYES camera features a nearly 4-inch touchscreen, built-in GPS, HDR footage, and 24-hour parking monitoring. As for the AI side of the dashcam, it's loaded with pedestrian detection, lane departure notification, and potential collision warnings amongst other cutting-edge features. And just so you know, Akeeyo sent me the EYES dashcam so I could make this video, though all the thoughts and opinions are my own. At the time of making this video, you can get up to 35% off when buying the EYES dashcam through Akeeyo's website, so it's worth looking round. And I've put affiliate links in the description below if you're interested. Let's get stuck into the video. Opening up the nicely designed Akeeyo EYES box, you've got two further boxes inside, one for the front camera and one for the rear. We'll start with the front camera, and lifting the lid, you're met by a really comprehensive instruction manual in a number of languages. Next, there's two clear stickers, one for the front and one for the back cameras, which use static electricity to stick to the windscreen instead of adhesive, leaving less residue and making it easier to switch cameras between vehicles. Below that is the front camera, which has quite a striking look that isn't dissimilar to a pair of goggles or smart glasses. In reality, you're looking at the front lenses, and turning it over, you've got the big screen on the back. Peeling the protective stickers off, a closer look at the lenses shows the telephoto on the left and the wide angle on the right. On one side of the camera you have the round power button, with a long press turning the camera on and off when it's plugged into power, though the device automatically turns on and off and starts and stops recording when the engine is turned on or off. It also acts as the protect button, so short pressing it once will protect the clip from being written over. On the other side there's a rectangle function button. Press it for 4 seconds to enter the settings menu, or press it once to turn the screen dark while still showing recording details and your direction and speed. On the base of the unit you have a microSD card slot in the middle, with a 64GB card included, a microphone on the right, and a reset button on the left. In the top right corner there's a USB-C port to connect the wired rear camera. On the top of the dashcam is the tilting mount with a USB-C port for powering the camera and a big 3M sticky pad for fixing the dashcam to the windscreen. The mount is removable, so you could move the dashcam between vehicles while leaving the mount attached to the windscreen. There's also a box of accessories for the front camera. Up first is the 3.5 meter long USB-C to USB-A power cable, which will be long enough to get from the dashcam on the windscreen to the USB port on most vehicles. To connect the cable to your car, there's a USB to 12 volt adapter included, with two USB-A ports, which is handy for powering or charging another device at the same time as using the dashcam. There's also a second extended mount, which can replace the thinner mount included on the dashcam. This can give a little more distance away from the windscreen and help with difficult angles. Next there's a trim removal tool, which will come in handy when the camera is installed and wires need to be hidden. And then there's a shorter USB-C to USB-A cable for plugging the dashcam into a computer to download files, though you could always remove the memory card and view files that way. Finally, there's a bundle of extra sticky pads for both the front and rear cameras, as well as a spare mount for the rear camera and a couple of screws in case you need to mount the camera to the vehicle in a permanent way. So that's the first box opened up, and as you've probably guessed, the second box houses the rear camera. Opening up the first box in the rear camera package, you have the camera itself, which is a compact and solid rectangle shape. Peeling the protective film off, you've got the nice wide angle lens, and the lens section can rotate over 360 degrees, though bear in mind that it would eventually tangle and snap the wires, so it's best to keep the rotation under 360 degrees, but it makes this rear camera very versatile and able to get the perfect angle. Connected to the rear camera is a short USB-C cable and a purplish wire, which is to be connected to the car's reversing light wire. That way, when you put the car in reverse, the camera picks up on the connection and brings up the reversing lines on the dashcam to help with obstacles and distances. In the second box is a 7.5 meter long USB-C male to USB-C female cable. The female end plugs into the rear camera and the male end plugs into the front camera, and the wire can be run through the vehicle and hidden in the trim. My first thoughts on seeing the Akeeyo EYES dashcam is that it's really nicely designed and seems well built. Installing the EYES front dash cam is easy and you'll have no problem doing it yourself. To begin, make sure the glass is clean and free from any dust or grease. Rubbing it down with an alcohol wipe is a good way to ensure this. When you've found where you want to stick the camera, decide whether you want to stick the dash cam directly to the windscreen or to apply one of the static stickers first and then stick the camera to that. With the static sticker applied, if you're using it, peel back the 3M film on the dash cam mount, line it up on the glass and push it firmly in place. That's the EYES front camera attached. Now it's time to power it. Grab the USB-C power cable and plug the L-shape end into the dash cam with the wires pointing upwards. As you don't want the cable in the way, potentially blocking visibility or getting caught in things, the best method of wiring the dash cam is hiding the cable in the vehicle's trim. Using the trim tool included in the box and shown earlier, work your way around tucking the cable away. In my case, I can easily push it into the headliner above me, but it doesn't go so easily into the plastic pillar covers. In most vehicles you can remove door seals, pop off bits of the trim, feed the cables through and snap them back in place. After feeding the cable down the pillar towards the floor, you can run the cable along the footwell towards the 12-volt port, which in my vehicle is near the floor between the two seats. Once there, grab the 12-volt USB-A adapter, insert it in your vehicle, plug the power cable into the dash cam and you're good to go. When you start the vehicle, the dash cam will begin recording. You can align the camera by turning it on and checking that the image on the screen covers the road to vehicle ratio that works best for you. One note of safety with dash cam installation though, do ensure that the dash cam doesn't obstruct your line of sight or block any airbags. The mount should be positioned outside of your direct line of sight. The EYES rear view camera offers the ability to have a rear dash cam and reversing camera in addition to the front facing lenses of this system. If you just want the first or both options, then you'll need to feed the long wire to the back, feed it through the inside of the rear door to the outside, feed it through the inside of the rear door to the outside, and stick or screw the camera in place. The long wire will need to be hidden in the vehicle and then the camera can be adjusted to get the right filming angle and tightened. The only difference to use this as a reversing camera is that the purplish wire, which is usually red on other reversing cameras, will need to be attached to the positive reversing light wire of your vehicle so that when you put the car in reverse, the camera knows this and the dash cam screen display will automatically bring up the reversing camera view and reversing lines. Most of the images you're seeing here are from the full detailed video on how to install this type of rear view camera to the reversing light that I've got on my channel, and you should see a link to it in the top right corner, but I'd also leave a link in the description below. It's really not as difficult as you think and is well worth the effort in my opinion. The Akeeyo EYES is packed with cutting edge features which make it a really innovative dashcam. Starting with the hardware, you've of course got the two front facing lenses which are one of the main selling points of this camera. The wide-angle lens films with a viewing angle of 135 degrees using a Sony Starvis IMX675 sensor, while the telephoto lens shoots with a 41-degree viewing angle using the IMX335 sensor. The rear camera films with an ultra-wide 154-degree field of view with a 335 sensor too, and is also IP67 waterproof in case you want to attach it to the outside of your vehicle. As mentioned, the lens can also be rotated to pretty much any angle you want, ideal for whether you're attaching it to the inside or the outside of your vehicle. On the back of the dashcam, the nearly 4-inch IPS touchscreen is a really decent size and is bright and vibrant with a high quality image. You can use it to swipe between cameras to get different views or to access the menu and settings, but I'll go into all that in more detail later. There's also 24-hour parking detection, so the dashcam will detect movement or impacts from the front and rear cameras, start recording, and the footage will be saved for when you need it. This feature requires constant power to the dashcam, so you'll need to use the hardwiring kit and connect the camera to your interior fuses, but I've got a section on how to do that all later in the video too. There's also built-in GPS which will record your driving position, speed, direction of travel, and the time and date of your journeys. You can also use voice commands to control the dashcam, with multiple phrases to use such as Open Wi-Fi, Lock Video. The dashcam is surprisingly quick to respond to commands and didn't have any trouble picking up what I was saying. This is a really handy feature for safety and allows you to keep your hands on the wheel while driving. Finally, the EYES dashcam supports microSD cards of up to 256GB, which is around 10 hours of video footage when using 2 cameras and would be about a third less with the rear camera attached too. As is standard for dash cams, this one uses loop recording to overwrite the oldest clips unless they're protected, so you don't have to delete footage and the camera can always be ready to capture. It's recommended that you format the card once a month to prevent recording errors. It's also worth noting that the dash cam doesn't have any internal memory and turns off when there's no SD card inserted. On the software side of the EYES Dash Cam, there's a lot to explore. One of the core features is undoubtedly the AI capabilities, and utilising ADAS or Advanced Driver Assistance Systems, Akeeyo is channeling tech from some of the most modern car manufacturers to monitor your surroundings and help prevent accidents before they happen, which is undoubtedly a good thing when on the road. The ADAS capabilities can be broken down into a number of key areas. First is pedestrian warning, which will put an alert on the screen and make a sound if it detects the potential of a person to walk out in front of your vehicle. Next up is forward collision assistance, which continuously monitors vehicles in front of you, alerting you to sudden braking or deceleration. The third ADAS feature is forward vehicle start alert, which will let you know when the vehicle in front has started moving so you can continue to move with the flow of traffic. Then there's lane departure warning assistance, which will alert you if you drift out of your lane, avoiding potential collisions with nearby vehicles. Finally, there's blind spot detection, which alerts you to vehicles in your blind spots, helping you to monitor every angle. A red line will appear on the edge of the screen to indicate that a vehicle is nearby, and this also works when reversing or parking as well. All of these advanced driver assistance systems are great additions which work well and could no doubt enhance safety while driving, especially during long drives or night trips where concentration might be reduced. Automatic AI calibration happens when the vehicle is travelling over 20 miles an hour with clear lane markings ahead of you and takes around 2 minutes to complete, but does it in the background whilst filming so you won't even know it's doing it. The dash cam will attempt calibration every time it's turned on. I set the AI alerts to high so I'd receive the maximum amount, and they picked up the majority of what I would deem to be hazards, though did miss a few such as people on the side of the road, and often alerted to lane departures when the surface of the road changed, though I suspect setting alerts to medium or low frequency would sort this. The alerts could also be a little louder, as despite being set to the highest volume, if you had reasonably loud music on in the car, you might miss the alert. The AI's limitation is really the viewing angle of the dashcam's wide-angle lens, because if the camera doesn't see the potential danger, then the alerts won't go off. It's worth bearing in mind too that not all of the AI features work with the rear lens. The two you'll have available are blind spot assist as well as rear collision warning. Finally, remember that the AI features aren't substitutes for the driver's attention and responsibility, and the EYES system's performance could be affected by bad weather conditions too. Taking a run through the dashcam system, you're always met with the home screen when you turn it on, as well as a rather interesting greeting,
"Hello, Akeeyo,"
which you can turn off in settings, and the home screen shows whichever of the 3 lenses you have connected. You can swipe horizontally across the screen to change the camera you're viewing, be that the wide-angle lens, telephoto lens, or rear view lens. You can choose to have the main image with the other lenses shown in small boxes on the right or left-hand side, or just the single lens showing in its entirety. The viewing setup you choose will be remembered when you turn the dashcam off, then on again. The display is fast and responsive and really a pleasure to navigate around. Starting in the top left corner, you have the recording status and time, and then in the top right corner there are a number of symbols including GPS, connected cameras, the microphone, Wi-Fi and locked clips. In the bottom right you'll find your direction of travel and speed thanks to the built-in GPS module, and in the bottom left corner you've got a shortcut to the menu. Tap this button and you'll be taken to the menu of options to customise your dashcam. Starting in the top left, you can turn the sound recording on or off so your clips have no sound. Then next to that you can turn the sound output on or off so you don't hear any beeps or notifications. Next you can turn the Wi-Fi on or off. And to complete the top row, you can turn the AI or ADAS features off on the front and rear cameras so you won't get the on-screen alerts for potential incidents. On the second row, the first of the green buttons will take you to a second screen where you can view your video clips. It's broken into 3 sections. Event, where you can view protected video clips such as impacts or clips you've manually saved. Normal, which are the day-to-day clips recorded by the dashcam that will eventually be written over again. And photo, where you can view any photos you capture. You can take those photos by heading back to the main screen and pressing the second green button. Photos are also in 2K resolution, just like the video footage is. The third and final green button takes you back to the home screen. The second to last button turns hands-free voice activation on or off, and the final button takes you through to the settings. Here there's lots more to explore and change to get the dashcam set up just how you like it. On the settings page there are 3 options to choose from. The first is recording settings, and here you can adjust the resolutions for all 3 cameras with options of 2K Quad HD at 30 frames per second, 2K at 27.5 and 1080 Full HD at 30 frames per second. Below that you can toggle on or off wide dynamic range, which can capture more brightness in a scene, helping in high contrast areas and capturing in dark places, as well as high dynamic range, which aims to capture the highest range of details and colour. In my testing there was quite a noticeable difference between having these options on or off, so I think it's worth keeping these turned on. I also found that it seems to enhance the wide angle image a bit more than the telephoto image. Next up is Auto Rec, which stops the dashcam automatically going back to the recording screen while you're scrolling through the menu or settings, for example. Then you can turn the event cycle on or off, and below that you can adjust loop recording to 1, 3 or 5 minutes, which is how long each of the video clips will be before it breaks and starts a new clip. Next is collision sensitivity, and here you can adjust the sensitivity of the G sensor, which detects impacts between low, medium and high, or you can turn it off altogether. You can then adjust exposure compensation or how light or dark the video footage will be, and then toggle on or off recorded AT, which is another way of turning sound recording on or off. Below that you can add or remove the date stamp, GPS stamp or a personalised stamp from the recorded dashcam footage. The final recording setting is parking monitoring, and if you're powering the EYES dashcam via the hardwiring kit, which I'll cover more in the next section, then it's here you can choose how to monitor your vehicle when you're not driving it. You can choose from G sensor, which will monitor for and register impacts while you're parked up, or you can choose to set the dashcam to record a time lapse over 4, 8, 12 or 24 hours. Moving into the system settings, the first option is to adjust Wi-Fi between 5 GHz and 2.4 GHz, along with the ability to turn the Wi-Fi on or off, and it shows your network details too. Next you can toggle the power on sound on or off, which is how you would remove the voice that says hello when you turn on the dashcam. Below you can turn touchscreen sounds on and off to get rid of the beep when you touch the screen. Next you can change your language, and there are 6 to choose from. And then you can adjust the speed unit between kilometers per hour and miles per hour. Below that you can change the frequency from 50 to 60 Hz. 50 is standard for the UK, while 60 is standard for the USA, and switching that will help with flickering lights in your recordings. The next setting, Screen Protector, allows you to set the display to turn off after certain periods. HUD makes the screen go dark whilst retaining recording and driving data on the display, whilst Auto makes the screen go completely blank after the designated period. Indicator brightness allows you to turn off the green, red and blue LEDs that are present below the screen. Screen brightness allows you to lighten or darken the screen, and also has an automatic function so that the screen adjusts to the current lighting level. You can then adjust the date and time, the time zone you're in, and the date format. Next you can toggle on or off a memory card formatting reminder. Then you can restore the dashcam to its default settings. Next you can format the SD card. Below that you can bring up a QR code to show the dashcam's instruction manual. And finally you can view the version number of your dashcam. The third and final option in settings is AI settings. Up first is front AI, and here you can choose which AI settings you want to be able to use with the front lenses. Below that is front AI correction, which will recalibrate the AI settings for the front dashcam lenses. Next you can adjust the AI sensitivity from low to medium to high, and then you can select the rear camera AI settings that you want to use, choosing between blind spot assist and rear collision warning. Below that you can calibrate the rear camera just as with the front camera. You can turn on or off speech recognition, which is just another way of toggling voice commands. You can set a fatigue driving reminder with alarms that go off every 1, 2 or 4 hours. You can change the volume of the ADAS sounds, choosing from off, low, medium or high. And finally you can turn BSD or blind spot detection sounds off, or change the volume between low, medium and high. There's certainly a lot of settings to play with, but it's great to have so much adjustability at your fingertips with this dashcam. As mentioned earlier, there's a 24-hour parking monitoring system available on the EYES dashcam, which is a great feature to have, but it does require constant power to the dashcam as it doesn't have a built-in battery. It does however have a supercapacitor, which will store some power for use with the parking mode. The Hardwire kit can be purchased separately from Akeeyo. There's a link in the description and will replace the USB power cable to provide the constant power needed for parking mode. Hardwiring a dash cam to a vehicle can be a little daunting, but in essence you need to find the right fuses to use, check which direction the power flows in and out of the fuses, insert the fuses and attach them to the device. If you've got the hardwiring kit, then the only additional tool you'll need is a digital multimeter. Hardwiring the device doesn't mean your battery will run down, however. The hardwiring kit will turn the dashcam off if it detects the vehicle's battery voltage getting too low. I've actually created a complete step-by-step guide on how to hardwire a dashcam to your vehicle's fuses, which I'll link to in the description below if you're interested. There's also an Akeeyo app so that you can view footage back and adjust settings without touching the dashcam. It's available for free from the Google Play Store or the App Store and is easy to set up. First, download the app and open it up. There will be a couple of standard permissions to allow, and it may prompt you to create an account, which you don't have to do. With the dashcam powered on, tap Add Camera and it will search for any nearby dashcams and give you further instructions on installation and how to connect. You'll be taken to your phone's internet connection screen. Tap the Akeeyo Dash Cam Wi-Fi and enter the password 123456778. Return to the app and you'll be connected. You'll immediately see what your camera sees in the top image, and in the bottom right of this window you'll have the option to turn the image horizontal. Below that there's a microphone button to turn on or off sound recording for your clips. On the left you can switch between two front lenses and the rear camera. In the middle of the screen are two buttons. The top one is to start or stop recording and the bottom one is to take a photo. In the bottom left corner of the screen, the camera file button will take you to view all your footage. There are 4 tabs here. First is Loop, which is all of your standard footage which will be overwritten eventually. Next is Snapshot, which is all the photos you've taken. The third is Locked, which is all the footage which is protected. And the final tab is Parking, which shows any clips captured by the cameras when you're parked up. In the bottom right corner you've got camera settings, which consists of a menu to adjust the EYES dashcam without touching the screen. First is turning sound recording on and off. Then there's video resolution, which gives you all the resolutions you can switch between. Then there's loop recording duration, which will adjust the duration of the clips you record. Below that is light source frequency, so you can switch between 50 and 60 Hz. Then there's a slider for changing the video exposure. Next you can change your speed unit and toggle the rear camera to flip, so it can be viewed the same way a rearview mirror would. Below that is collision sensing, which adjusts the sensitivity of the device for detecting impacts. Then there's driving fatigue alert, where you can set timed alerts. Then you can toggle key voice and boot voice to turn off startup and touchscreen sounds. You can adjust your time zone and add your license plate or number plate too. In the final section are Wi-Fi details, your firmware version, the ability to format your SD card and perform a factory reset. I found the Wi-Fi to be fast to connect and the app was responsive too, but bear in mind that the dashcam creates a local Wi-Fi connection, so you'll need to be nearby the EYES camera to connect it to the Akeeyo app. The real test of any dashcam is its video quality and how well it records the road ahead and behind the vehicle. I found the 2K video of the front camera lens to be good quality, with important details such as number plates and signs generally clear to read on the wide-angle lens, though with the telephoto lens as well, you can view them much more easily from a distance and even see some details that you might otherwise have missed. Details are sharp, perhaps over-sharpened, but colours are pretty accurate, with the 2K rear camera also providing a clear, equally sharpened image for recording the road behind and reversing. Both cameras cope very well at night too, which is a notoriously tricky condition for dashcams and cameras in general, with number plates generally readable, though sometimes not depending on speed of vehicles and glare from headlights. Dashcams as a whole compress footage a lot to get the smallest file sizes possible, and this can impact the quality of the overall footage, which it has a bit here too. Overall, I feel all 3 lenses could probably have slightly less sharpened footage, which might make it a little less contrasty too, but that's me being very picky, and you're getting 3 very good videos while you drive. The Akeeyo EYES isn't on the cheaper end of dashcams, but for all the quality hardware you get and the AI technology to go along with it, I think it's probably worth the money. The EYES retails at £340 or $360, but while I was making this video it could be found discounted, so it's worth looking around for a competitive price. There also isn't a subscription needed for the EYES system, which a number of other dashcam providers are requiring to use their best features, so it's really nice that you pay once and get all the features. Don't forget, if you'd like to get one for yourself, I've got an affiliate link in the description below which helps support this channel. My final thoughts to wrap up this video is that the Akeeyo EYES AI Dash Cam is a really great product for the money. I can't really find too much to fault with this dashcam. It worked every time I needed it to, is highly adjustable in the settings, has great features and has embraced some really cutting edge tech. I also love that there's no subscription. It's great having two front lenses as you've got more chance of picking up details further away, which can often get lost with wide angle lenses. This dual lens system does make the front camera body a bit on the larger side, which isn't always to everyone's taste, but it does allow space for a large, fast, responsive screen on the back. The footage is good quality for the 2K resolution and captures vivid, detailed footage. It would also be fantastic to see a 4K version of this too, as I really like the dual front lens concept. If you've enjoyed this video and think I've earned it, please take a moment to like the video, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell to be the first to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching.